Bearing Up by Frank Rickaby, with Paula Wilcox as Eileen and Kim Wall as Brian.
Gordon Clough and Susanna Simon.
Where there is discord, may we bring harmony. Where there is error, may
You
we bring
tell 'em,
truth.
girl.
Where there is doubt,
Oh,
may we bring
it's a
faith.
new start for this
Where
country,
there is
Eileen.
fear, may we
sorry,
bring
Brian?
hope.
I was saying, things can only get better. You all right? You're not worrying about tonight, are you?
Tonight?
Frank and Joan are very broad-minded. Oh, and by the way, the projector's working.
Sorry?
What is that you're reading?
It's the gas bill for the holiday apartments.
Is it a red one?
Yeah, they're all red these days. Half the apartments are still empty, which I suppose is a blessing in disguise, considering the plumbing, which we can't afford to have fixed. If things don't improve this summer, I don't know what we'll do.
I don't like you worrying so much. It's not good for you.
Bills have to be paid, Brian.
Oh, you're a counsellor. Can't you pull a few strings?
Pull a few strings.
You know, bend a few ears.
Brian, I'm on the amenities committee for Brighton Borough Council. I don't think that cuts much ice with British Gas. But I'm going to have to think of something.
Well, maybe we'll win the pools then. Long odds, I know.
Yeah, very long, considering we don't even do the pools.
Well, there you go then. Hey, I'll tell you what. Why don't I pick up a coupon when I go for the papers? Right, now come on. There's only one custard tart left. What do you think? Halfy-halfy? Right, the projector's ready, all right? Put all the slides in order.
Good boy.
Do I get a kiss?
Later. Joan, Frank, come and have nibbles. I've got breadsticks and some lovely guacamole.
Guaca what? Guacamole, Frank. It's Spanish.
Oh, Frank's funny with anything foreign, especially the food.
Where's your sense of adventure?
I don't have one, Eileen.
Joan, you'll try it, won't you? Show Frank what he's missing.
All right. Well, maybe just a bit. Oh. Oh, no, sorry. No, I don't like it. Oh, it's disgusting. Frank, give me my hanky quickly. Oh, my God, my mouth's on fire.
Oh, give her a drink. Joan, another glass of bread.
Maybe we put too much chilli in it. Brian, how much did you put in?
Just pour the wine, Brian.
Yeah.
There you go, Joan. Drink. That's right. Not slowly.
Brian, how much chilli did you put in it?
Oh, I don't remember. A spoonful?
Oh, Brian, you're supposed to put a pinch in. You could have killed poor Joe.
No, really, Eileen, I'm fine now, honestly.
Yes. Come on, get the projector running. Let's see these famous holiday snaps.
Right.
Ah, here we are on the beach in Ibiza, playing volleyball with Hannes and Cataline. They drove all the way from Rotterdam in their tourer, didn't they, Brian?
Indeed, they did, my love. Yes.
Oh, they're a lovely couple. Mind you, the Dutch are a lovely people. There's a whole crowd of them turns up every year.
Yeah. You ever been to Holland, Frank? Frank?
Sorry, Brian, what was that?
Holland. You ever been?
No,
Oh, and here's our son Terry with his little boy.
Why are all those people naked? Frank?
What? Didn't I say?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's me playing crazy golf with Dick.
What?
Dick de Groot. He's one of the Dutch crowd we told you about. Oh, that's Marta. She's Dick's daughter. Wasn't this her 18th birthday, Brian?
Yes, I think it was, dear.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a pity you can't see her face, because she is a beautiful girl.
But what in God's name is the girl doing?
The crab, Joan.
The crab?
She's a gymnast.
Frank, I really don't feel well. Frank,
Yes?
I want to go home.
Soon, dear. Let's just...
Now, Frank.
Right, I'll get your coat.
Doggone crying to please me. You never let me down before.
In bed already?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for that kiss you promised me. And listen, they're playing our tune.
I'm not in the mood for music.
Oh, no, don't turn it off.
You said you told them we were naturists.
Well, him. I told him. Anyway, gave him a night to remember. So, come on. Shall I put the music back on?
I've been thinking a lot about what you said earlier, and it made sense. A lot of sense.
I'm glad to have been of service.
Well, you said things are on the up.
Oh, when Maggie was on? Yeah, what a woman, eh? You know what? She reminds me of you.
Brian.
Sexy, all that
Brian,
hair.
please stop. Stop pawing me. This is important. Thank you. I wasn't listening then because I was too busy worrying.
I don't want you worrying.
Brian, please. I was worrying about the bills and how everyone's flying off to Spain for their holidays, even us. So when I said yes, dear, I didn't mean it. Not then, but I do now.
Better late than never, I think.
But it's not just for the country that things are going to improve, although obviously that's quite important too. What I mean is, things are going to get better for us. For me and you. What's missing in Brighton?
I don't know. What is missing in Brighton?
What is it that Brighton doesn't have that Ibiza does have?
I don't know. People who speak Spanish.
Oh, Brian.
The Mediterranean. Paella.
No.
General Franco.
General Franco?
Well, isn't he Spanish?
Well, of course he's Spanish. He's also dead.
Is he? Okay, bullfights.
Oh, now you're just being silly.
Decent weather.
Oh,
I'll be fair,
Brian.
Eileen. You could give me a clue.
For heaven's sake. The Playa d'Embosa. That's what Ibiza has that Brighton doesn't have. And the paella and the nice weather, of course. But the point I'm making, the point I'm trying to make, is this.
The Playa d'Embosa is a naturist beach.
Yes, Brian, of course, it's a naturist beach. We go there twice every year.
Yeah.
And I'm going to open one just like it here in Brighton. Except there won't be any sand, it'll be pebbles.
Yeah, this is England. It's the greatest country in the world, bar none. That's a given. But, well, you know, there are some things the English won't stand for, and a naturist beach in Brighton is almost certainly one of them.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, you're
but-
never wrong, Eileen.
Oh, stop being sarcastic. Who was it who said the English would never elect a woman Prime Minister?
Me.
Sorry, who?
Me.
You. So you wait and see. This is a new dawn. And if Maggie Thatcher can do it, Councillor Eileen Jakes can do it too.
I know we're all eager to be getting home, so if we could have some order. Thank you. Now, on a positive note, the election celebration party is on the 15th and will take place at my house. You should all have your invitations by now. Dress code is formal.
I'm sure we'd all like our gratitude formally minuted here.
Thank you, Councillor Blackman. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Councillor Jakes, I believe you have something you'd like to discuss.
Thank you. Now, we all know how badly Brighton has suffered over the past decade. The fact is, we've fallen behind as a holiday resort as more and more people go abroad. Now, I know it's the weather they're chasing, and we're all praying for a good summer here. Yeah, but it isn't just the weather. People today want something different, and we're just not providing it. As a landlady myself...
I think we're all aware of the need for modernisation.
Yes, which is why I'd like to propose... before full council the setting up of an official naturist beach. It'd be the first anywhere in Britain. Well?
You want us to preside over the creation of the country's first official nudist colony?
No! I want to set up a properly sanctioned and run facility...
For nudists?
Look, we prefer the term naturists, actually, John, but yes.
And this is how you propose to bring Brighton into the 20th century, with a nudist colony?
It's a beach, John, not a colony.
Oh, do me a favour.
Oh, Brian, wake up.
Oh, good meeting.
Do you know what they said?
What, who said?
John Blackman and that pompous little fart, Alan bloody Goodwin.
Oh, him.
Oh, you'll have your nudist colony over my dead body. I kept telling them it's a naturist beach, not some kind of holiday camp for perverts, which is another phrase they use to describe it.
Oh, how'd it go down with the others?
The same.
Oh, well, at least you tried. Here, You sit down and relax. Why don't I make you a nice cuppa?
No, I think I'd prefer a G&T, a large one.
Well, that's the only kind there is. I mean, the thing is, you did your best. That's a bloody good idea too, but I did warn you it might be a little ahead of its time. You just got to accept the inevitable now and move on. Anyway, there you go. As requested, one very large G&T and an equally immodest single malt for yours truly. Bottoms up.
Adam Trimmingham.
Sorry?
Adam Trimmingham. He's a journalist with the Argus.
Well, I know who he is. I just wanted...
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you're calling him. It's nearly midnight. Isn't it a bit late?
You know, I'm no good at accepting the inevitable. It is not my style.
No.
Adam, darling. Eileen Jakes here. Sorry to call so late.
Time for a refill, Brian. It's going to be a long night.
So, Adam, is it a story you want to write?
A Tory councillor campaigning to set up Britain's first official naturist beach right here in saucy old Brighton? What do you think? But what about the council? There'll be opposition.
No, leave them to me.
In that case, you don't mind if I turn the tape on, do you?
No, of course not. You're the journalist, darling. It's your story now.
I'm Adam Trimmingham. It's Wednesday, May 10th, 1979, and I'm interviewing Councillor Eileen Jakes, Brighton's very own Iron Lady, in the appropriately named Grin and Bear It Cafe. First question. Did you choose this place specially?
No.
Really?
Just a happy coincidence.
I'll take your word for it.
It's on. You're in love with a beautiful woman. You know it's on.
Hello?
Everybody wants her. Everybody knows her.
Hello?
Everybody wants little baby.
Oh, what are you doing here?
I
thought we had squatters in for a minute.
no, I'm fixing the plumbing.
Well, shouldn't we get a professional in for that?
Well, he said we couldn't afford it. Anyway, how can it be? It's only a few pipes. As soon as it's done, we can start letting the apartments out again. So, did they print it?
Aha. Front page.
Oh.
Good old Adam. Look, I'll read it to you. Fun and frolics on Peekaboo Bay. Holidaymakers may soon be leaving their costumes at home and soaking up the sun as nature intended in the nude. That's if Councillor Eileen Jakes gets her way. Glamorous Gran Eileen, 47, is herself a committed naturist with many years' experience under her belt, so to speak. Oh, this is lovely, Brian. Listen. I asked two elderly gents on Madeira Drive what they thought of the plan. One replied, I didn't fight in 2 world wars to see young women parading about naked, showing off their breasts and bottoms. His friend looked incredulous and said, I did. Adding, I may even buy myself a new pair of binoculars. Well, it's not quite the tone I would have liked, but it'll do.
Well, there's no going back now. Oh, honestly, I can't get this bloody nut loose.
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
Ooh. Right. I suppose it means we won't have to go to that bloody election party later.
What do you mean?
Well, won't it be a bit awkward?
Not for me, it won't.
Ow!
Oh! Brian!
Oh, you... Oh,
Dear.
well, there. It's fixed.
What, really?
Ooh, I'm not entirely useless, you know.
Well, I know. Here, shall I kiss your thumb better? Mwah. Well, you saved us a lot of money.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian!
No, it's all right. It's just a few drips.
Brian!
Did you say you had a number for the plumber?
Brian!
Eileen, it was a wonderful article, and it's a brilliant idea, first rate. Push it through and it'll get this place back on the map.
So I can count on your support then, Grace?
And I'm not the only one. Robin Crossley's for it, and I know some of the Labour group will come on board, even if it's only to cause mischief.
If I could just have a moment. Thank you. As your host and chairman of the Amenities Committee, it behoves me to ask you all to put your hands together to thank my good lady wife Shirley for all her work in making tonight's revelry possible. And thank you. And also to read you a message direct from Conservative Central Office. Are you ready? To all our loyal party members in Brighton, thank you.
Well, that was short and sweet.
Ladies, everything to your satisfaction?
Everything's perfect, John.
Grace, would you mind if I had a private word with Eileen?
Time for a drink, methinks. Excuse me?
My friends, we have got every right.
I believe the councillor has quite a garden. Shall we take a stroll round it? Unless you'd rather stay for his joke.
If it's anything like the one he told at Christmas, I'd rather not.
Oh, he tried this one out on me earlier. Hard to credit, I know, but it's actually worse.
In that case, I'd love to see the garden.
I think it's this way.
What a view! The sea looks so calm. That telescope must have cost an absolute fortune.
I wanted to talk to you about Adam Trimmingham's article.
Oh, yes. He phoned me for a quote.
He phoned you?
I don't know how he got hold of the story. Journalistic tenacity, I suppose. Anyway, I couldn't say no. I asked who his source was, but he refused to say.
You wouldn't tell me either.
Oh, you've spoken to him?
Of course. It'll never happen, you know, Eileen, this publicity stunt of yours. We'll fight it every step of the way.
On the beaches?
If we have to, yes, we will.
We being you and our glorious leader in there.
Amongst others.
You are rather missing the point here, John.
Some of us have worked hard to clean this town's image up, and if you think we'll stand by while you open the gates to the Tits and Bum Brigade, you're very much mistaken. Shall we get back inside? It sounds like he's finished.
Yes, let's. It's gone very chilly out here all of a sudden.
At the same time, of course, the Chancellor has got to bear in mind the twin bogies of inflation and unemployment.
Let's see what they've got to say for themselves, shall we? Here we are. Councillor Blackman fixed me with an apocalyptic stare and declared, "This so-called naturist beach is an affront to all right-thinking people."
No. I'll tell you why, these rashes are delicious.
Shh. Ooh, here's a quote from Goodwin. "I, for one, am not prepared to see Brighton turned into the kind of place where young and old alike think nothing of showing off their privates like there's no tomorrow." Oh, dear me, what a silly, silly man. After talking to the irate councillors, I returned to Madeira Drive, where I spoke to a respectable man accompanied by his young son. The man glanced at the boy and said in a deep Scottish burr, "We can't have our youth corrupted by the sight of all that flesh. It can only be a matter of time before they give way to the sins of Onan." "Who's Onan, Dad?" asked the child. "Never you mind," came the man's stern reply.
Who are you calling?
I'm summoning the troops. Now, everyone, I've spoken with Jerry, the landlord, and we've got this room every Friday between 7 and 9. Speaking of which, thank you, Jerry, darling.
These are on the outside.
Excellent.
Help yourselves, everybody.
Cheers, Grace.
Good. Thank you. I'll take minutes and distribute them. Henry, as our only member of the Labour group, I'd like to welcome you.
Glad to be here.
And I'd like to assure you that these meetings will be run entirely on non-party lines. Our friends will come from all quarters, as I'm sure will our opponents. Well, that's the preliminaries out of the way. Now, there aren't as many of us as I'd have liked, but mighty oaks and all that. Anyway, before we get down to business, chin chin, everyone. Cheers.
I think I'm going to enjoy these little meetings.
I'm Adam Trimmingham. I'm back on the beach below Madeira Drive to gauge public feeling for and against the naturist beach. Sir, can I ask you how you feel about it?
You want me to tell you how I feel?
That's the general idea.
There are going to be deaths.
Why deaths?
I was riding my bike past Portslade Gasworks, where they do this nude stuff on the quiet. I was very nearly crushed beneath the wheels of a passing cement lorry whose driver, may I say, was paying a sight more attention to this lady's bare breast than he was to the rules of the public highway. Deaths. D-E-A-T-H-S.
I can spell.
You write that down and see if I'm not right.
Yes, thank you for that.
Although here's an idea. I've been on at the council for years that we need more bike racks. All those bare backsides lined up in a row could solve the problem overnight. Something to think about?
Well, it certainly is, sir. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, the crab, it's called, Frank.
Looks painful, is it?
No, I don't think so. Not if you're as elastic as young Marta. I wouldn't fancy trying it myself, though.
Bit undignified at our age.
Well, you do yourself an injury.
So, is there a lot of, how's your father on these beaches you go to?
Nah, there's none of that.
But you must look and think about it. I mean, you can't lie flat on your stomach all day.
It just doesn't come up. Yeah, if you get my meaning. I mean, in fact, I bet there's less of it on nude beaches than on the ordinary ones.
Seriously?
Yeah, I mean, Eileen always says it's like the drinking laws.
Is it?
Look, you get to closing time here and everyone's, knocking back the pints while they still can, right? You go to France or Spain, where you can drink all night long, nobody's staggering around drunk.
I was when I went there.
Well, it's about the culture, making us more grown up. Do you see what I mean?
Not really, no.
Hi. Oh, Brian. I didn't know you were coming over.
I was just passing.
They just popped in to have another look at some of our holiday slides.
Oh, Marta again. No Joan?
No, she's she's not feeling too good.
Oh, dear. Well, send her my best.
Yeah, I've been reading the articles in the Argus, so great stuff. Even Joan's coming round to it.
Really?
Oh, God knows. Anything to bring more visitors is welcome.
Oh, business bad.
You can't sell ice cream to people when they're huddled under umbrellas. So keep at it, yeah. And you never know. You might even see me and Joan down there if you get your beach open.
Oh, well, we'll hold you to that. Right, I'm just going to hang my coat up.
Well, I'll be off. If you do bump into Joan, best not mention me coming over, okay?
No, I won't. Mum's the word.
Top man.
See you at the Feathers later.
Try and stop me.
Frank gone?
He had to get back. Anyway, how was the meeting?
Well, there were 15 there tonight. And we've got a date for the council debate.
Really?
Mm-hmm. August the 9th. Our opponents were decidedly unhappy about that. But there's nothing they can do about it now.
Except maybe win the vote.
Brian?
I'm just doing the devil's advocate thing.
Well, I'd really rather you didn't.
OK, but, there are 59 councillors, yeah?
Yes.
OK, well, now my maths isn't brilliant, but if you've got 15 on side, that leaves you with 21, 22... Help me out, Hi.
34.
Yeah, 34 people to convince.
Yeah, and the best way to do that is to convince the people who elected them. There is nothing like the fear of rejection to change a politician's mind. Right, Robin, darling, any news on finding a location?
Well, it hasn't been easy, as you can imagine. Virtually the whole seafront is protected, but my sources on the planning committee tell me there are 2 vacant stretches.
2? Robin, that's fantastic.
Well, only technically. One of them is completely impossible for all kinds of reasons.
Yes, and the other?
Well, that's a better prospect. However, there is one small problem.
How small?
Quite large, actually, Henry. It's directly below the old Quilter building.
The Quilter building's been empty for years, so unless someone's planning to open a convent there, I don't see what we have to worry about.
Well, is somebody planning on turning it into a convent?
Not a convent, no.
What then?
A retirement home for ex-servicemen.
I don't see the problem.
You don't think it's a bit sensitive, politically?
Where was the other stretch you found?
just west of the Peter Pan Children's Playground.
Ah, well, there you go then. Choice made. Below the Quilter building it is. So unless anyone objects, I suggest we put it to the vote. Well, splendid. Now, those in favour? 1, 2, 8. Grace? 9. And my vote makes 10. And 5 against. That settles it. Good. I think a celebratory drink is in order.
Blackman?
Oh, Councillor Hamilton here from planning.
Connie, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine, John.
And Angus?
Oh, he's fine too. So are the kids. Look, John, this isn't a social call.
Oh.
Do you have a minute?
Of course. What's happened?
Well, I've just been told we had Robin Crossley fishing around here yesterday, looking for available stretchers of beach.
Did he find one?
He certainly did.
Then it's time we took the gloves off.
I think you're right, especially bearing in mind the one he's come up with.
Oh, really? Where is it?
I should tell you face to face.
Is it that bad?
I've got a feeling you'll be able to turn it to your advantage.
I'm intrigued. Where are you?
Council chambers. I'll be here till 7.
Give me an hour.
How dare you get your kid off in front of a bunch of old soldiers? They fought in a war. What have you ever done for your country?
Oh, dear. There are some very troubled people out there.
Jakes, just so you know, I won't be voting for you in future, and I won't be letting my wife vote for you either. Good night.
The next one seems to quite like it.
Oh, turn it off, Brian.
There's plenty more.
No, just listening to it makes me feel violated.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you sit down. I'll fix you a drink.
Oh. You know, what I need to do is show people there's nothing sordid or dirty about what we're planning.
But if people don't want to listen, you... Oh, no.
Councillor Jakes?
Oh, I can't wait to see you on the beach with your juicy...
Oh, for heaven's sake, grow up! We are born naked and beautiful. And we're not ashamed or embarrassed by our bodies until we put clothes on and cover ourselves. If God had intended us to wear clothes, we'd have been born in them. Get 'em off there! Oh, look at the posters. Take the leaflets. There is nothing wrong with nudity. Giving out pictures of herself in the room! Relaxing as nature intended. Without a sexual thought or impulse. Oh, please, one at a time. Please don't snatch them. Have you never seen a pair of breasts before? Ow, how dare you!
Give us a
Get your hands off me, you brute! Thank you, Constable. I can assure you it will not happen again. Adam, fancy meeting you here.
I heard you'd been arrested.
Arrested? No, you've been misinformed, darling. I'm here to make a complaint against a group of drunken yobs who very nearly assaulted me.
While you were handing out nude photos of yourself.
While I was endeavouring to show people that nudity is nothing to be ashamed of. And certainly not something to get all hot and bothered about.
This was meant to be a land fit for heroes, not perverts. Don't get me wrong, I'm not quite the old fuddy-duddy some people would have you think. And believe it or not, I understand the attractions of nude sunbathing. I wouldn't want to try it myself, of course, not with my physique. But on a serious note, Brighton is not the place for it. Some Greek island, maybe, Lesbos or somewhere like that. But Brighton is a family resort, and it's a town that respects its heroes. Imagine the damage it could do to them, looking out over afternoon tea and seeing all that flesh laid out before them. It's not right, is it? It's the permissive society gone mad. And I'm confident the good folk of Brighton will not stand for it.
Eileen, thanks for coming. It's It's a filthy night, and I know it's been a long day.
Yes, it certainly has been that.
I've had the Argus on the phone, asking me to talk about your arrest this morning.
Oh, look, I wasn't arrested. Yet, then before you say it, I admit, perhaps today wasn't my finest hour.
I've had a lot of people calling me up.
Suddenly, every crank in Brighton seems to have my number.
I mean, our people. Supporters.
Oh, I see. And they've asked you to talk to me?
The feeling is we have to go back to the drawing board. Find a new location.
Absolutely not.
This whole thing, the beach, everything. You know why it's such a great idea? Because it makes people smile.
This isn't about fun, Grace.
To Joe Bloggs in the street. That's exactly what it is about. It's Brighton up to her old tricks again. And as long as it stays that way, we can't lose. But siting our beach below a home for retired servicemen...
They might not even get the go-ahead to build the damn thing.
It doesn't matter. The thing is, we've got the council elections in a couple of months. People are going to be counting votes and regretting every unpopular cause they've signed up for.
You mean, to hell with principles, just count the votes.
It's the cornerstone of democracy.
Right. I've done your hot water bottle.
Oh.
There you are. And I bought you a bag of Fisherman's Friends for your cold.
Oh.
You'll like them.
Thanks. Oh, dear. Hot water bottles in August. It'll be snow next.
Oh, aye, what is it?
It's all falling apart, Brian. I don't think I can carry on.
No, you've had a bad day, that's all.
No, it's more than that.
Now, come on. Maggie wouldn't cry, would she?
No, I suppose not.
Suppose nothing. She'd roll up her sleeves and come out fighting. And that's what you're going to do.
You know, I'm not sure I can.
I am.
Really?
100%. 101%.
Oh. Oh, thanks.
Come on. Shove over. Let me get in before I freeze. Are my feet cold?
Yeah. But I don't mind.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh.
No, it's 4:30. Whoever it is, tell him to go away.
Go away.
Is this the residence of Mrs. Eileen Jakes?
Yeah, it is, but she's not...
Great, I'm calling from the Chicago Tribune.
What? It's the Chicago Tribune. Look, I'm afraid she doesn't want to...
Eileen Jakes?
Lionel Neame, chief feature writer. I've been following your adventures, Mrs. Jakes, and I've just heard news over the wire about you marching naked to the streets of Brighton like your Lady Godiva, but without the horse, causing one hell of a riot to break out.
Well, it didn't happen quite like that.
Yeah, I'd like to interview you. It'll be syndicated to papers all around the States.
Really? How many?
196, last time I looked.
Mr. Neame. Or may I call you Lionel?
Ma'am, I insist upon it.
Eileen Jakes.
Spike Rawlins from the Sun newspaper. We've got one of your flyers here, the topless ones. We'd like you to reproduce the post for tomorrow's page 3.
Oh, look, I am a 47-year-old woman.
There's no age limit, love, so long as you've still got the goods. And unless my eyes deceive me, you've got 'em.
Look, I really don't think...
The money's good.
I don't care how good the money is.
Pity. It'll put a smile on a lot of faces.
Yes, I suppose it would.
A lot of publicity, too.
And you say the money's good?
600 smackers. I'd post topless myself for that, but for some reason nobody's asking.
All right, then. And you can make the check out to the Brighton lifeboat station. Ah, Robin, darling, can I come in? Oh, You're still in your pyjamas. Silk, very fetching.
Look, Eileen, if this is about Grace...
No
talking
need,
to you-
no need. You were right, all of you. But we need to move fast.
But I'm not sure there's any...
You found 2 stretches of beach, remember?
But we agreed. The other one was no good.
Yeah, look, what if we built shingle banks up so that you couldn't see in from the playground? You know, do a proper job, get surveyors and engineers in.
Well, there'll still be opposition.
Look, we're a week away from the vote. Any opposition, we can beat them off. If you and the others want out, I'll do it myself single-handedly.
I can think of a few councillors who'd be delighted to take you up on that. Although it might be classed as a bribe.
A bribe?
But it's not just the playground that worries me.
Well, go on.
It is directly below Alan Goodwin's house.
Oh, Robin. Oh, don't you think that's perfect?
Well, I suppose it is rather poetic. We'll have to absolutely guarantee to bank up the shingle, though. Then there'll be issues of signage and policing. It's going to cost.
Look, I'll pay for it myself if I have to. I'm not sure what with, but...
Well, in that case, I'll get dressed.
Can I use your phone?
And make yourself at home.
Thanks. Adam, darling.
There's a bit of a storm blowing up at Brighton, where the town's been rocked by a proposal before the council to set aside a portion of the beach for naturists. Party loyalties have been swept aside, and tonight's vote promises to be a close one. The pro-nudist camp lines up behind Conservative councillor Mrs. Eileen Jakes, a local landlady and practising naturist.
I feel Brighton is totally out of touch. And it's high time we took the lead and provided this facility. If we don't, the town will fall further and further behind. As business people, we're here to make money.
The cover-up brigade is led by fellow Conservative John Blackman, the self-styled Ayatollah of Brighton.
I have no objection to people showing off their breasts and bosoms and general genitalia to one another. But for heaven's sake, go somewhere more private.
The councillor knows full well the shingle banks we're going to build will ensure complete privacy on either side.
Councillor Blackman?
If this beach gets passed, I shall be the first on it, fully clothed. And I intend to create a test case by summoning a constable to arrest anyone I see without clothes on.
There won't be enough constables in Brighton for him to summon.
The surveys for the erection of shingle banks have been lodged with the Secretary's Office for amendments, as seen fit by the officers.
I'm Adam Trimmingham, and this, as they say, is the moment of truth. There's a full house and a packed press gallery with hacks of every hue, some from as far away as the United States. We're all here to see who prevails in this titanic political battle.
Proposal. The chair calls Councillor Blackman.
This proposal for a naturist beach should be rejected on the grounds of public decency and good taste.
Order. Councillor Goodwin.
I would like to put a question to everyone here tonight. Is there nothing to be kept for the sanctity of the marriage bed?
Oh, Alan, what has the marriage bed to do with things?
I'm talking about this, madam!
The councillor brandishes a page torn from a tabloid newspaper showing his esteemed colleague in a state of undress. Perhaps, or perhaps not, out of respect for the lady's modesty, he has placed masking tape strategically over the 2 offending protuberances.
An elected council member bearing her bosoms in a national newspaper to be lusted over by labourers? It's a disgrace, and it brings this chamber into disrepute.
This is ridiculous. On the continent,
Oh,
you
Mr.
know
Chairman,
perfectly...
Councillor Blackman.
We're aware this sort of carry-on is all the rage on the continent. But this is England. We have standards, or we used to.
Back and forth go the arguments. Meanwhile, in the cheap seats, the public follow each cut and thrust of political debate.
Cheese and onion sarnie, Frank.
Be quiet, you two.
Sorry, Joan.
While on the main stage...
This speech will bring much-needed publicity and interest to Brighton.
It will bring mods and rockers!
Oh, do shut up, Alan, and stop making yourself look foolish. Those of us, and there are many, struggling to survive this recession, will welcome the injection of new money. And woe betide any of us here tonight if we turn our backs on the chance to drag this town into prosperity again. The voters and the taxpayers of Brighton will remember, and they will have their say. If we fail them, they will punish us.
A rousing speech. But is it enough to carry the day?
Those in favour?
And so to the vote.
Those against? And the ayes have it.
History in the making. Down below, an elated Councillor Jakes is borne aloft by her supporters. And spare a thought for those who dared oppose the redoubtable lady. There they stand, washed up on the tide, or is it the shingle beach of history? And perhaps one of them, who knows, contemplating a visit to the estate agents. I'm Adam Trimmingham, and I'm here on an historic, albeit freezing cold, night for the opening of Brighton's Naturist Beach. In precisely 1 minute, at midnight, it will be April the 1st, 1980.
Adam, darling.
I'm joined by Councillor Jakes, looking, I must say, rather splendid in a knee-length fur coat. Councillor Jakes, there's no sign of Councillors Blackman and Goodwin tonight, or indeed of the hordes of constables they promised to unleash.
Oh, I'm sure they're watching. Maybe through Alan's telescope. Perhaps we should wave. Anyway, come on, Adam. Time to get them off.
In the interests of journalistic objectivity, I think I'd better keep them on.
In that case, you won't mind holding my coat.
Of course not. Oh dear, you're naked.
Yes, that is rather the point, Adam. Eileen! Grace, darling. Are you coming in?
Absolutely. Adam, can I give you my clothes?
And now Councillor Clark is naked too. I feel I should avert my eyes, but wherever I look, there are people, men and women, young and old, councillors casting off their clothes and...
Ooh, all right, time for a dip, I think. Joan, you might want to look away. Oh, what would you like to be?
Come on, Joan. What about it?
What on earth are you... Oh, no, Frank, not your underpants.
Oh, come on, Joan. Think about all the ice creams we're going to sell here.
Oh, what the hell? Frank, hang on. Oh, it's freezing.
And you're naked.
If you tell anybody about this...
Everybody's here, and they're all naked too.
No! Stop. But if you think I'm going to be doing the crab, you've got another thing coming.
You did it, girl.
Oh, I did, though, didn't I? Couldn't have done it without you, though.
Do I get a kiss?
Yes, of course you do. Come here.
In Bearing Up by Frank Rickaby, Eileen was played by Paula Wilcox, Brian by Kim Wall, Joan, Joanna Monroe, and Frank, Philip Fox. John Blackman was played by Malcolm Tierney, Adam Trimmingham by Stephen Hogan, Alan Goodwin, Sam Dale, Grace Clark, Janice Aqua, Robin Crossley, Benjamin Askew, Connie Hamilton, Caroline Guthrie, Spike Rawlings, Paul Ryder, Henry Ireland, Jonathan Taffler, the Chair of the Council, Matt Addis, and John Humphreys as himself. Bearing Up was directed by Tracy Neal.